What's wrong? I mean,
I'm laughing at the way you're sitting and you got a big smile on your face.
Why? Because he's ready. He's poised.
Yeah,
he's poised to Billy is
ready to
poised
go.
to attack. What has Billy poised to attack? He's got his leg up on the counter like Pat McAfee doing an interview with Aaron Rodgers.
So cool.
He's got his leg up, and why are you ready and poised?
these are short shorts. I should.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Let me stop
This is a
that.
weird angle. Weird angle for me.
Stop that.
A lot of thigh.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We don't have an HR department. We're good. I don't know. Anyway, Puerto Rico DR's today, Dan, huh?
Oh.
This is a big game. I think it's the biggest game that's ever happened in the park. And Dan, I don't know if you know this. This happened moments ago. Cuba advanced, and they will be coming to play in Miami, which is going. This is something that it's gonna be a bit crazy.
Is there a chance they can play the United States?
I have to see how things go out with the brackets, but this is like. I don't want to, like, as a Cuban, this is going to be exciting. This is not a good scenario. I wouldn't say having them come play in Miami. And I think that everything
is
Why not,
traffic
Billy?
scenario. A lot of traffic.
No,
right?
Well, traffic's going to be bad.
Are you
but
assuming that the local Cubans are going to be rooting for Cuba? Because
it's going to be weird.
It could be odd.
What's a more explosive situation, Cuba versus U.S. or Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico? Because DR versus PR is...
Oh, tonight's going to be crazy. Like,
I
this is
mean-
going to be crazy.
But the vibes are going to be good.
It's going to be crazy
It's
good
all
vibes.
positive. It's not politics. It's not.
You think it's
Politics.
Look, I don't. Coming from a New York background, it ain't positive, Dan.
Well,
it ain't positive,
it's sports
man.
hate, though.
It's
It's
like- but
sports
it's an
hate.
intense-
It's not politics hate.
It's a politics hate, but it's an intense hate.
Nah, in Miami, it's fine.
It's all love.
Yeah.
We're one family.
It's been a party. I mean, all of the games have been a party there with Puerto Rico and the DR. But this is like different because the loser is eliminated.
Yeah,
like
there you
this
go.
is the end of the road for one of these two teams, and these are teams that were viewed as powerhouses in the tournament. And Venezuela as well is a powerhouse, but only two of them can move on. So one of the three is going to be eliminated. God, it's going to be so exciting. It's such a game, Dan. I'm throwing out the first pitch at the FAU game.
Are you?
Yeah.
So wait, you're not going to DRPR?
Well, I mean, at the same time.
Wait, are you going to throw the first pitch and then leave?
There it is. There it is.
Of
I think
course.
that's bad form. I can't do that.
It's not
I can't
bad
just
form.
show
Two
up.
innings?
No.
You're going to
Twinings?
miss the biggest game in baseball history.
He has to be there for. You can just tell the FIU people you got to be at
But
that
they're
game
playing
for
like
work.
a homestand. They have like 3 games.
No, it's just one rivalry game.
That's not too prisoner of the moment. Baseball, our most historic game.
Biggest game ever.
Put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show. Is tonight the biggest game in the history of baseball?
It might be. Is it not?
It's going to be fun.
Name a bigger game,
I don't
Dan.
see how we continue with
Cuba,
the sport
Name a
after
bigger
this.
game.
The World Baseball Classic Championship
No.
game from last time.
We don't even remember what
I
it
don't
was.
who
No.
played in that.
The U.S. won.
What?
Yeah.
How about that?
did?
Go Saints.
Defending
How about us?
WBC champs.
Wow.
Yeah, but then COVID came, so they canceled the last one. So it was 6 years ago. Unlike like the World Cup and the Olympics, the WBC's every 3 years, right? So this one landed in 2020, and then everything was canceled, so they didn't have one. So there hasn't been a World Baseball Classic since 2017.
So we've been champion for 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Oh man.
I have the Stugotz of the World Baseball Classic, unless you guys can find a better nominee. Nelson Cruz, the general manager of the Dominican team, just inserted himself.
Yeah, no,
into
he's
the
on
game.
the team. Yeah.
I know.
Really?
Really?
that was that Nelson Cruz?
He's still there.
Why would you
Yeah.
not?
I thought it was a
Stugotz
different
is
Nelson
the
Cruz.
GM
How do you
now.
make the I thought he had a son. I thought it was Nelson Cruz Jr.
Robinson Cano's playing too.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Junior?
No.
Robbie Cano?
Yeah.
He's still around, huh?
Wow.
It's exciting, man. And by the way, just one last quick thing about like Cuba, just before we move on, not to bring it down. But like some people will say, well, like what's the difference between Cuba playing and Venezuela playing? The Venezuelan players are all major leaguers for the most part, playing under their country's flag, where the Cuban players are actually Cuban players from Cuba who are playing in Cuba. In fact, there's a Cuban player playing in Mexico, Randy Arozarena, instead of Cuba because he defected, and the reason he's playing for the Mexico team is because that's the country that he fled to, and that's how he was able to make it to the major leagues. So he felt this connection to Mexico and wanted to play on the Mexican team. So that's the main difference, because people will say like, oh my God, communist, socialist country, why is it that there's a difference between the Venezuelan team and there's a difference between the Cuban team? Why are the Venezuelans rooting for their team? And it's because it's all of their players that are playing in major leagues playing on behalf of their country.
I don't think that people necessarily know that if the Cuban baseball team actually used Cuban major leaguers as opposed to the amateurs that they are using, that team would be a hell of a lot better. The team of Cuban major leaguers would be a hell of a lot better than the one that's coming to Miami to play the United States or Venezuela.
I got a question, by the way, a question that I dreamt. If you're from the Dominican Republic, you are Dominican. But if you're from the island of Dominica, what are you?
You dreamt this question?
I dreamt this question.
I don't believe that.
Good dream.
Dominican?
Weird dream.
You think that's a good dream?
Yeah, good dream.
It's a good dream.
Makes you think.
I like when my dreams talk to me like that. They
ask questions.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
I mean, what
Do you
kind
have an
of,
answer?
What kind of
Who dreams
dream
up a
is that?
question?
What
I
kind
mean-
of dream is that? What are you doing? I'm worried about Amin. Do you guys know that he threw out his back brushing his teeth?
It was. I can't even say it was when I bent over to spit or whatever. It was just literally I had the toothbrush, and then my back just went. What? I was and I had my mouth full of toothpaste.
You're looking at yourself in the mirror in pain with toothpaste coming down into your beard.
It sounded like this. Hold on.